What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is day 5 of the 4th annual 10 Days of Pumpkin here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today comes from the Ithaca Brewing Company, and they're out of Ithaca, New York, and this is their Country Pumpkin. So they're calling this one a pumpkin ale. That's all it says on the label. Comes in at, I don't know exactly the ABV because it does not list it anywhere on the can as far as I can see, but on their website it does say 5.9%, so we're going to go with that. No IBUs listed, and at the time of review, this can is approximately 3 months old. So, full disclosure, I've had this one before. I had this one, I think it was like 7 or 8 years ago. I also had a cask version of this with vanilla beans, and I did not enjoy that. I gave that a 2 out of 5 on Untappd. Wasn't great. This one, though, I remember being pretty solid for what it is. Now, you just can't find a lot of information. On their website, they don't really list too much about this, but I did find on Beer Advocate, they mentioned that they brew this one with real pumpkin puree and pumpkin spices, which include cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and allspice. No clove in this one. But yeah, I mean, I thought they would have more on the label. It just says Country Pumpkin, Pumpkin Ale. I do not see, like I said, the ABV anywhere on it. So whatever. Hopefully it's pretty tasty. Like I said, I remember it being solid for what it is, but yeah. They also have a chai pumpkin, which is like an imperial pumpkin ale with chai spices that I did not pick up this year. Maybe I'll review it next year for the 10 Days of Pumpkin. All right, so yeah, this is looking like your typical old school kind of, pumpkin ale, right? Yesterday I did the Forbidden Pumpkin that looked like a hazy, which it kind of was, milkshake IPA. This one has that typical pumpkin ale look. So yeah, it has like this burnt orange, slight copper-like color to it. Really beautiful looking beer. Had about a finger of this off-white, almost light tan-colored head that is now dissipating to a thin film. Maybe all the spices are doing that. Maybe it's the pumpkin. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, that plays the role of what I know a pumpkin ale kind of looks like over the last 10, 15 years. Oh, okay. Wow. So to me, this is coming off bigger with the ginger and the allspice more than the cinnamon and nutmeg. Like, I'm getting the ginger in here. I would assume they're, like I said, what I saw is cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and allspice, no clove. It almost has like a ginger beer type of aroma to it. Like, that ginger's strong. Like, maybe it's just me. Okay, as it warms up, a little bit of a nutmeg kind of aroma. There's an underlying sweet malty aspect of this one, like a brown sugar, caramel malt type of base. Ooh, now the cinnamon's coming out. Okay, so now the spices, I mean, this has been on my fridge for like a half an hour, so it's warmed up a decent amount. Probably in like the 50 range, 55, something like that. The ginger's still dominating, but I am getting the allspice, a little bit of nutmeg, a little bit of cinnamon. The base beer is there. It feels like this one might be a little bit ginger leaning, but it does have a nice cohesiveness. Like, this reminds me of a pumpkin ale. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of pumpkin ales will, like the Brooklyn I did on day 1, that kind of reminded me of like an old school, like English style pale ale or something. This one, it smells like a pumpkin ale, and it smells pretty solid. So let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, for me, that ginger's really big. Wow. I'm surprised at how ginger forward this is. All right, so body on this one, it's 5.9, I think, based on what they say on the website. It doesn't say it on the can. It's like higher side of light body, approaching medium low. It's fine. The mouthfeel, there's a lot of carbonation here. Very crisp, effervescent, spritzy on the palate. Body and mouthfeel are appropriate for a 5.9% pumpkin ale. That's what I kind of expect going in this. The taste, though, there's a lot of ginger. There's an omnipresent, big, intense, like ginger note on my palate. Underneath, there's a sweet malt presence, but it's not super sweet. It has a little bit of like a burnt sugar, brown sugar thing, a little bit caramel toffee. There's this bready kind of aspect to it. It doesn't like, so this isn't giving me, this is not a pumpkin ale that's giving me pumpkin pie kind of aromas and tasting notes. This is giving me more of like the pumpkin spice aspect that you get in a lot of things pumpkin related in the fall, like pumpkin scented candles and pumpkin spice coffee. So you get that real big spice component this one, and ginger's leading the way for me. So a little bit of cinnamon and allspice, the nutmeg really not present in the taste. I like ginger, and I feel like you have to like ginger like this one. Again, my palate could be incredibly stupid. Wait, let me roll that back. My palate is incredibly stupid, but you know, we all have different palates and different you know, takes on beers, and I'm gonna drink this and get ginger. Maybe someone else drinks it and gets a huge cinnamon blast. I'm just saying, for me, ginger is definitely big, and I don't even know if there's ginger in here. I'm just assuming based on what I read, but this is a really big on the spice aspect. No bitterness to really speak of on the back of the palate. There is like a semi-dry finish from those spices, like a drying like cinnamon and allspice kind of note on the back of the palate. So this is not if you like a really sweet pumpkin ales, this is not for you. This is a more of a drying, less sweet kind of pumpkin ale. This is, dare I say, a more drinkable pumpkin ale. Man, I really like it because I like ginger and I like pumpkin spices. What I would like to see from this is a bit more sweetness to kind of balance it out, maybe a little bit more complexity. The ginger's really big, the spices are big in general, and there's not a lot of like a huge malt sweetness to kind of balance that out. So it's slightly disappointing from that aspect for me, but I like ginger, I like pumpkin spice, and this is pretty good. You could do worse than this by far for pumpkin ale. So Country Pumpkin from Ithaca. I'm going to give this a bit better than I gave in the past. I think I gave it like a 3.5 for this one, or like a 3.25. I'm going to bump this up to a 3.75 out of 5. I think it's solid. I think, again, if you want a less sweet pumpkin beer with more of that prominent spice note, pumpkin spice note, then I would say pick this one up. And if not, then don't touch this one because it doesn't have a great balance. It's definitely spice leaning, but it's not a bad pumpkin beer at all. It's pretty solid for what it is. So 3.75 out of 5 for Country Pumpkin from Ithaca. Now I'm curious to see what their chai pumpkin, the 8% one, has to offer. So yeah, pretty solid pumpkin beer. I'm just so surprised by that ginger aspect. Like, I didn't expect that. Price and availability, price point. This is where it's really good. I paid $2.29 for that can, so I'm assuming 4 packs of this is $8 to $10. Like, yeah, if you have $8 to $10 for a 4-pack of this, is a pretty fucking solid deal. Yeah, you could do much worse. So price point is pretty solid. Availability, I don't know where Ithaca gets distro at this point. Definitely in the tri-state area. Definitely in New York State. But if you get Ithaca's regular stuff, you should see this one. I don't know about their chai pumpkin. And yeah, I don't have much more to say about it. If you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. I'm sure there's people out here that love this one. Some people out there that don't really care for it. For me, somewhere in between, where I think it's a solid, good pumpkin ale, albeit leaning heavier towards the the spice aspect, especially the ginger. But outside of that, can't say much more about it. Pretty solid beer. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. 5.9%, that ABV. Don't really taste on my palate. Drinks like a 6% beer. It's fine. And yeah, not much more to say about. So see ya tomorrow for hopefully day 6. I mean, it is going to be day 6, but hopefully I see you back. We're doing Southern Tiers, cold brew coffee, pumpkin nitro. And I'm really looking forward to it. Till the next one. Cheers.